good afternoon and welcome to week 12 review, even though we're now on week 13 of Around the OrkneyBowl. How's it going, Craig?
Yeah, good afternoon, Johnny. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, but gutted after last week's performance, getting beaten for the second best team, but hey ho, that's fantasy football for you. But never mind, we do have a funky pop. Where is it? Be a funky pop man. Had to be bloody Aaron Rodgers, but no. We sort of knew it. As long as it's not Dak Prescott tomorrow, I'll be okay.
Yes, well, yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers. Unfortunately, we got number 8 Rodgers, so he's the first one out. So do you know what? I've got a 12 Rodgers, so that he can join his 12 Rodgers. I've now got an 8 Rodgers as well. So there we have
Howdy,
it.
Everett. Well, welcome for joining us, Everett. We will get to your division in a wee bit, but we will start off. Everett's here.
Hey, how you doing, Everett? How you getting on, sir?
But we will start off with the Magnus division. We'll try and get a bigger screen. Hold on. This one. Got to move about a wee bit. We don't need all that rubbish at the side. There we go.
Yeah, there's all your leagues, Johnny.
I know. That's just the ones I sort. That's the ones I sort of pay attention to, not the ones that below that I don't actually tune to. So, hope work's going okay because mine's is lovely because I'm not there today. So we'll start off with St Magnus division. It's got the Ancoats Citizens 209.87 up against the Glasgow Eagles 171.61. The Orton Warriors 231.41 against 193.97 Carlton Crew. Dublin Everton Blues 191.48. Losing to Leeds Lassos at 234.36. The Manchester Bees 203.15 against the Leicester Tigers 169.41. Then you got the EK Colts 201.48 against the Seattle Patriots 249.28. Lose my voice here. Whitford Rockscars 135.58 against 153.77 Alaska Deep Freeze. So the top two teams all lost this week. Then you've got the Manchester Bees on 8-48, and the Seattle Patriots now on a 4-game win streak. Also 7-5. Leeds Lasso 7-5. Whitford Rockscars at 7-5. Whatnot and Warriors at 6-6. Probably the only ones who got a chance of getting through now. You've got Ancoats Citizens at 5-7. Alaska Deep Freeze at 5-7. Our defending champions at 4-8. EK Court at 4-8, and the Leicester Tigers 4-8. So obviously the bottom three are definitely out of it, but the other two very slim chance.
At 5 and 7 in this division, you're kind of dead, aren't you? It's Orton Warriors are the ones that can sneak in. You know, the 7 and 5s are looking over their shoulders, but it would take an almighty. You know, Ancoats Citizens and Alaskan Deep Freeze, they both need to win out now, and they have to hope that other results go their way as well. So it's very difficult from there. I would say this is a kind of 4-horse race for 3 spots.
I think it's not even the fact they've got to win out; they've got to score big to beat the teams probably point difference above them. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, and it makes a big difference at this point, you know, if you've not got the points there. And of course, there's still Manchester Bees have still got it all to play for, along with Glasgow Eagles and Graham, because they you know, the bye's a big thing. So you know, if you can get that bye in the first round of the playoffs, then it just gives you that wee week off. And if your players have a bad week, then it doesn't matter. So yeah, the two of them playing it out, and Carlton Crew are looking good to get it now. Obviously at 9-3, they're top of the division, and we'll be looking to see that out now with 2 weeks to go.
Good. And on that note, though, I have been minded on that even though you're on a bye week, you still have to set your team, because the Scarra Bray Trophy is a aggregate score over weeks 15 and 16, and the final goes on to 17. So you still have to set your team, even though you're on a bye week.
There you go. Set your
even
team
in the
if you're
bottom
on a bye
divisions for
week.
the Henry. So, but that happened last year in the Rousey Cup when Whitford Warriors didn't set their team in the first leg of the Rousey Cup.
Yeah,
and had a bit much of a
yeah, I
deficit.
remember that happening.
So I'll probably put a post out later on about doing that, but make sure you set your teams even though you're on a bye week. So. But yeah, so we'll see how they're getting on.
We'll get two weeks of the regular season before we need to worry about those ones, Johnny. Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about it because I'm not big making that far anyway. So obviously a nice start for the Glasgow Eagles with 48.10 against the Orton Warriors. Ancoats Citizens 9 points against the Leeds Lassos 40 points. The Carlton Crew 58 points up against the Leicester Leicester Tigers 19 points. Dublin Everton Blues 110 points, but 84 points for EK Cokes. So that's a pretty good game so far. Should be a close one.
That's a good start.
6-5 against Alaska Deep Freeze. So Manchester Bees got a slight winner, but it's projected to lose. Very close one. The Whitford Rockstars free falling down here on their one game losing streak. They could potentially lose the top 6 spot, but I think they should be okay against 20 points against the Seattle Patriots 36.7. Who are on a 4
certainly. You know the winner of the Whitworth Rockstars and the Seattle Patriots. The winners in. You know the winners. The winners definitely in, and the losers looking over their shoulder in the last week. You know, and it's such a big game. You know, you want that kind of ease of not having to worry about it all week next week. You know, so a big game there. Alaskan Deep Freeze obviously need to win to keep any slim hopes alive. You know, Carlton Crew, they'll be out for the win because they'll want to secure that top spot now. And obviously the top one there, the Orkneybowl Warriors, they're desperate for the win because obviously they're in 7th place, so they really need to win out. And they're playing against Graham there, who's trying to get that first bye, you know, second bye spot. So big game there again as well. And although Graham is behind, he's projected to win 60%. So you know that's a big game there as well. Graham could do the 7 and 5s a whole big massive favour this week and beat Orkneybowl Warriors. You know, if he does that, then the 7 and 5s can breathe a huge sigh of relief.
So I wonder who Jack's got in the last one. Who they got in the last game? Jack's got Orkneybowl Warriors are playing Leicester Tigers, so yeah. They've done him a big favour because obviously the Orkneybowl Warriors are playing Leicester Tigers in the last week, so potentially they should.
You've got to think that's one that they win. Although the last week is going to be thrown into disarray by a lot of bye. You know, there's a lot of guys on bye week in the last week, so that could throw spanner in a lot of works. You know, of people chasing the playoffs. So yeah, getting it secured this week when you've got all your players to pick from is what the 7 and 5s are really looking to do here.
Yeah, the second bye Mageddon. But no, it should be nice and close. It'd be interesting.
Let's not forget, this is the top division as well. So this is the one that, you know, if you get into those playoffs, you can go on and be the OrkneyBowl champion. So, you know, there's 96 players playing this. So it's a big thing to, you know, come out top against 96 other players, all of which manage their teams week in, week out. It's not like you've got people slacking off. You know, it's a big community, you know. So to be the champion of the OrkneyBowl is a massive achievement. So something to think about as they head into the playoff, you know, as they head into the end of the season, just sneaking in there.
Cool. We'll head on to the JSNB division, Y1. So I scored 198.77, the third highest score in the league, but I lost to the second highest score in the league, 219.76, the Newcastle Buccaneers. The Backfoot Panthers, 148.76 against the Warners Bay Goonies, 188.01. The Glossop Fighting Gophers, 190.52 against the Harrow Harlequins, 160.91. Newcastle Colts, 229.63 against 177.53. Then you've got the Yorkshire Finns, 197.00 against 191.88 Stockholm Bengals. The Diamond Goats, 187 to 171.87 Whitehall White Tigers. This one here, before you go further down, is going to be an arse speaker for the last 8 teams in this league.
I've looked at there's a heck of a lot of 5 and 7s there I'm seeing, you know, as you're going down.
So you've got obviously Gadama Goats at 10 and 2. They've obviously guaranteed their playoff the bye week. Newcastle Colts at 9 and 3. The Warners Bay Goonies at 8 and 4. Whitehall White Tigers at 8 and 4. Now this is where the fun starts. Stockholm Bengals at 5 and 7. Harrow Harlequins at 5 and 7. Backfoot Panthers at 5 and 7. Orkney Orcas at 5 and 7. Yorkshire Finns at 5 and 7. And not out of it, Solihull Sharks at 4 and 8. Buccaneers at 4 and 8. And the Glossop Fighting Gophers at 4 and 8.
Yeah, so I mean, it's 2 weeks to go for 2 spots. You know, it's what's that? 2, 4, 6, 8 teams. 8 teams for 2 spots. It's the 5 and 7s are obviously the favourites to get them, but the 4 and 8s absolutely must win out. and hope that the 5 and 7 don't. But yeah, this is squeaky bum time, Johnny, and you're right in the mix of it.
Well, I was bottom 3 weeks ago, and I got myself up to 7th, but I just can't. I was looking good, but then Yorkshire Finns pulled a cracking one out to.
You've got Pacheco back,
too.
have you not? Have you not got Pacheco in here?
I've not got Pacheco in this one. No, I've got Hall, who's meant to be played even though he's questionable. I've got CMC. Hopefully, does well in the snow. Hopefully, the 49ers are playing white and nobody can see CMC, and I'll just run right through them all day.
Just go through them all. Well, that's got to be your hope, eh? But yeah, no, you're right. You're right in the hunt there, Johnny. You know, it's someone's got
crazy, though. One loss, you could be bottom,
and that's it. The thing is, that's you're not even guaranteed being in this division next year yet, you know, because of course you could end up not even getting the bye week of the consolations, you know. It's that tight. It's exciting division. I like to see these ones when I'm not involved in them.
Yeah, so do I when I'm not. Like obviously the Glossop Fighting Gophers won this week, but actually fell a spot because the Buccaneers have scored more points.
Oh, did they? So but that means it's close in the points, you know. So if it's that close in the points, then you know, it can flip again easily, you know. So it's all to play for. It really is, and very exciting. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Who's playing who this week? I bet there's going to be some 5-7s playing each other.
Going on streaks, Fraser is in a 5-game losing streak. So.
Oh yeah, I mean Fraser fell out of love with this team very, very quickly. I've got to say, it went
well, I'm up at. I've got 21 points against 70 points for Yorkshire Finns at 5 and 7. Bastard. The Glossop Fighting Gophers at 72 points up against the Warners Bay Goonies at 67 points. The Backfoot Panthers have got 56, but they're up against 80 points against the Buccaneers, so that could be a bit of a. So you've got 4 and 8 projected win. You've got the Solihull Sharks up against the Harrow Harlequins, who are currently sitting in the 6th spot. The Newcastle Colts are up against the White Tigers at 66 to 52. And you've got the Godalming Colts sitting on 80 points, but the Stockholm Bengals are on 86. And they're in the 5th spot. So the ones that are in the spots are both winning and looking good to win. So it could finish today.
With the Newcastle Colts playing the Whitehall White Tigers, you know, the two kind of up there. I mean, that's a big game for them in their own right, fighting for the bye week, you know. So forgetting that, it's every other game is so important, and it's in the chase for it, you know. It's obviously the 4 and 8's losing, they're out of it, but the 5 and 7's. If you're holding that spot, you really need to win, or you won't be holding it next week, you know. And it's going into the final week, I just find it much more important to be in the spot and have it be yours to lose, rather than having to hope that someone else loses to help you out, you know.
Well, so, of course, it's not in my hands anyway, so I have to wait for them to lose to get in that spot.
Of course, but I mean, they're not all. There's no way they're all going to win. You know, they can't all win. You know, you've got the 4 and 8's and the 5 and 7's playing off against each other all over the place. So, and then your Glossop Fighting Gophers are projected to lose at 4 and 8. You know, so that's kind of knocking those ones out. But it's going to be it'll be interesting to see how the weekend goes. And I hate looking at this is what I hate about Sleeper. It's right in your face. The green lines, the red lines are just so in your face. Can you not just tuck them away? If people want to look at the projections, that's fine. Go look at them, but don't have it right in your face, because it puts me right off. See the amount of times I go in on Sunday morning and I've got to see a green, man, and then by the end of the night it's a sea of red. But yeah, this is a tight one. I'm looking forward to see how this comes out. And Fred, you know, Fraser's in a 3-game losing streak, like you say, but he's not out of it. He's right in the hunt. He just needs to be able to turn it round, you know, and find a win. If he finds a win this week, he's got a great shout, you know.
I know, especially against a 4 and 8 team, it would basically knock them out as well. So
it's that exactly. It would knock them out too. That totally take them out. Harlequins can knock out Solihull Sharks, you know. So it could be like one or only kind of, but 3 or 4 teams playing for the 2 spots next week. That's what you're kind of hoping for. Do you know what I mean? You just need to hope that you're one of them.
Well, I do, but yeah, it's going to be a bloody tight one, especially when the start he had, like, because everybody seemed to score touchdowns and yards, and I'm watching the game going, oh no, not Jacoby Myers again. Oh god, not Travis fucking Kelce again. It's like, yeah, funny games. I think I got 21 points off of one player, I think, but I had
what have you got?
Jaden Reed.
You had Jaden Reed, right? So the 2 touchdowns have helped you out dramatically. But yeah, Dowdle and Myers against you. So that's a decent start,
and Kelce.
And Kelce, 23. So yeah, that's a decent start for 3 players, but you're still projected to win it slightly, Johnny, So I think you're going to live and die by what Stroud does against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm telling you that for free, because he's all primed up to have a big game. It's the Jags. They're not very good. They're about, Doug Peterson's still in charge somehow. So it's a big game for Stroud. He needs to do well, So that I think you live and die by what he does.
I know, but then I think Stafford's got a hard matchup today, so it's a toss-up between the two, and I thought, I might still change it. I've got plenty of time to change my mind, but it has changed about 3 times who to play. That's the joys of sleeper. But I had to pick up an extra defender because one of them was questionable, but it looks like he's playing now, so I'm not really too bored about that. But we'll go on to your division. Then you've got the Darlington Rams, 283.53 against a hot dogs, 171.51. The Lee Vikings, 193.05 against the Nairn Knights, 228.26. Glen Roth's Nazgols, now 11-1, 210.31 against the Portsmouth Pirates, 184.22. The Tophead Niners, 195.92 against 183.86 the Preston Panthers. The New Barstow Mashers, 202.02 against 111.66 Chicago Scorpions. And a close one, but no score corrections, unfortunately. The Edinburgh Packers, 171.40 against the Leeds Lepers, 173.73. Obviously, that gets the Glenrothes and Nazgols. We're already clinched the number 1 spot anyway. Leeds Lepers 1 step closer to getting the bye week. The Darlington Rams 8-4. New Barstow Masters 8-4. Tophead Niners at 7-5. Edinburgh Packers at 6-6. You're still sitting in 6th though. You've got Hot Dogs at 5-7. The Lee Vikings at 5-7. Preston Panthers 4-8. The ones that are already out: Portsmouth Pirates, Nairn Knights, and Chicago Scorpions all 3-9. So what happened?
I mean, Lamar Jackson happened on Monday night, and it was so pissing annoying. And of course, I had Dobbins, who went off in the first half and didn't come back, and I lost by 3 points. So, but yeah, I mean, I looked at the box score in the morning. I didn't stay up for the game, so I looked at the box score in the morning, and I seen that he'd only thrown for about 177 yards or something like that, and rushed for next to nothing, but did get 1 touchdown or something. And I thought, oh, you dancer, there's no way that's enough. But it was enough. And because, of course, Dobbins went out in the first half, went down. So,
He had good scores. He didn't play half a quarter, I think, but he still had decent scores. So he would have had a good game if he'd managed to stay in the pitch. But unfortunately,
the worst of it is, I was projected to win the whole night Sunday. I was looking great. I was looking good to win it, and more importantly, Doug and his Tophead Niners was looking good to lose against Preston Panthers. So I was going to be going 7-5, and he was going to be going 6-6, and it was and it was going to be him that's got the problem, and that's me in, and he's got the problem looking over his shoulder. The whole entire Sunday night, it was looking that way, and then it all turned around. And of course, he's came back and won, and I've been Lamar. So yeah, it is what it is. Some scores from Darlington Rams. It's 283 points. That's it's a nice time to start finding that kind of form in your team. So Sam will be delighted with that. And of course, pushing him one place closer. He would have much rather I'd snuck that one out there, because it would have put him in the playoff, the number 2 spot. But yeah, it's
a bit annoying, Derek.
I'm looking over my shoulder. I've got to win this week, but if you go and have a wee look at this week, you'll see that I've made a decent enough start, and I'm up against the Chicago Scorpions, who are bottom of the division. So if I don't win this week, I'm kind of really struggling to get in, but it's. it'll be what it'll be. You know, that Doug's in now. You know, that's everyone in. There's one spot left to play for, really, and it's mine. I'm holding it currently, and there's Hot Dog Hot Shots can catch me, and one other can catch me. I can't remember who it is.
Well, the Hot Shot Dogs and the Lee Vikings are playing against each other.
Yeah, and they're playing each other this week, so you know what one of them gets a shot next week, and if I can win this week, then at least it keeps me ahead of them.
Yeah, that's it. The Darlington Rams are playing the Portsmouth Pirates. It's currently set at 49.9 to 47.05. Preston Panthers 65.85 against the Nairn Knights 107.34. Glenrothes Nasgo's at 28 points up against the New Barstow Masters at 62.11. Top Mid Niners are 28.35 up against the team with the 4-game winning streak. Leeds Leopards 56.95, and obviously yourself is 65.8 points over Chicago Scorpions, so that's a good start. And obviously, it's pretty close with the Lee Vikings at 62.95 against the 68.89 Hot Shot Hot Dogs. But like you say, one will be knocking the other one out for any chance of getting through. But then if you win,
that's the big game in this division. You know, that's the huge game, and of course, my game's the other one that matters really. Everything else is just for getting the bye weeks and stuff, you know, but it's in and out. So obviously Sam will be looking to come back and win that one. He'll be hoping to hang on and win that one. Try and get that bye week. Martin's got it nailed in already. He's just hoping that his players don't get injured, and of course Sam will be hoping that he does him a favour and beats New Marsden Masters at 8-4. So kind of these are the ones that can have something going on them. The rest of them, it's just posturing for the consolations.
Definitely. But then up next we have the Mullhead division. So you've got the Aberdeen Bucks 154.06 against 177.83. Plymouth Argyle Browns. The Kirkwall Chargers at 221.70 against 138.37 Yorkshire Los Muertos. The Rotherham Raiders, not the highest, but by far probably the lowest score, 143.81, but getting the win against the Bucks Gold Rush at 74.65. Edinburgh Thunderbirds, 182.18 up against the Laxdale Legends, 200.53. Yorkshire Workshop Doth Rookies, 148.01 up against the Borden Bears, 222.75. I think this is the highest score of the week. The Bedford Brewskis, 297.01 against the Preston Hawks. Poor Pez got a bit of a thumping, but he still scored over 200 points, 206.17. So that's the Kirkwall Chargers at 9-3. The Edinburgh Thunderbirds 8-4. Preston Hawks 8-4. Aberdeen Bucks 8-4. So the buys are still, obviously Kirkwall Chargers are in a good looking, but they're not guaranteed yet.
No, it's not.
That's the Legends at 7-5. Then we've got Rotherham Raiders, Bedford Brewskis at Borden Bears all at 6-6. Workshop for the Rookies at 5-7, and then we've got the Yorkshire Los Muertos 4-8 out of it, Plymouth Argyles 3-9 out of it, and the Bucks Gold Rush 2-10, well and truly out of it. But they've still got the playoffs. Although they can't go down in this one, so no bother. Forget that last bit.
Yeah, so that's on to next year for them. But the 6 and 6s, you know, it's very tight for that last spot there. Laxdale Legends still looking over their shoulder a little bit. You know, only one ahead of 8, so they need another one to make sure. Rotherham Raiders, Bedford Brewskis, and Borden Bears playing for that last spot. 3 teams, 1 spot. And Workshop Doth Rookies could, if they win out, could steal it, you know, but they do have to win out. It's win or go home.
The thing with the Rotherham Raiders, they've been high scoring all year, but that's 2 weeks in a row now they've not had high scores.
It's absolutely going to help them, though, if it comes down to, as you can see right now, they're holding the spot, and if it does come down to points for, you know, if it's tied, so they'll be looking at it and thinking 1 more win, and that should be enough, you know, because if Bedford Brewskis and Borden Bears don't win out, then that'll be enough for them. So yeah, that it's a bit, although they have been, you know, kind of dropping the game, scoring those points were important, because it's like having an extra win right now. Do you know what I mean? Against the teams that if you're tied, I get tied with.
And obviously the form team's the number 1 spot who are on a 6-game win streak. So they're certainly hitting the playoffs at the right time.
And that's it. That's what you're looking for, you know. It's it makes such a difference just coming in with a bit of form, even if you've came from kind of nowhere. If you just sneak in there, but you're obviously, your players are playing well at that point, so you're looking forward to the playoffs and getting in there, you know. And kind of you get the teams that go, you know, 8-9 wins in a row at the start of the season. They get themselves into the playoffs straight away, but then the players start to lose a bit of form and start to lose one or two to injury. And when the playoffs come around, their team's decimated and they end up getting smashed in the first week, So it's a big thing having the form at the right time because that means your players are playing well at the right time.
Well, Edinburgh Thunderbirds are on a 2-game losing streak, so yeah, they're hitting at the wrong time. Whereas the other one, like I say, they've still got enough score if they get 1 win, maybe 2. But Pez is right on their heel for getting a bye spot. They're only 14 points between each other.
Yeah, so that's tight. So
Aberdeen Bucks is quite far back, so they shouldn't catch them. But just bear in mind, actually, I'll have to find the pin message. Remember, there is a new trophy this year for the second, third, and fourth divisions for each division called the Ringy Brodgar Shield, and it's the top 3 from each division all goes into one big pot, and the highest scorer over the last 3 weeks will win the Shield. So it's all your scores combined gets you that one. There's something to play, but it's like UEFA Cup.
It's like the Conference League, more like, Johnny. But yeah, I hear you.
It's something to play for.
I mean, it's still tight
a big one. So
it's still tight up the top here. It's anyone. Anyone can get that. Those bye weeks, and as I say, the bye weeks are important. It's just in case you have a bad week that week. Everyone has a bad week from time to time. So if you can have it in a bye week, all the better.
And speaking of a bad week, Purple Chargers sitting at 15 points up against the Plymouth Argyle Browns at 119.95. So that's 2 weeks now. Really done well. Aberdeen Bucks 25 points against the Bucks Gold Rush 29 points. As you can imagine, they're going to win that one. Lazio Legends at 36.70 against the 92.05 Yorkshire Los Muertos. The Rotherham Raiders sitting at 96.24 up against 39.15 the Workshop of Ruka. So that's the good one. Win that, you basically knocked him out. You should be safe.
Yeah.
You got a little bit better for Brewskis than that.
And they will be safe because of their points for.
Yeah. Edinburgh Thunderbirds sitting up against the Preston Hawks. That's 53 points to 47 points. That's going to be a close one. And the other 6 and 6s you're right behind you. We're sitting at 7 and 8. Bedford Brewskis 45 points against the Bodom Bears, who's got a good 102 points to start. So
and that's the thing about we're looking at it now and we're seeing all of these points. We've got to remember there has been 4 games already. Everyone's playing their 16 games, but there has been 4 games already. So
it's still good scorer for 4 games.
And that one down there, the Bedford Brewskis and the Bodom Bears. That's just it was always going to happen. It always happens that you've got a couple that are right there that end up playing each other. So huge game here and a big start with Jacobs going well. Neighbours done fine, but Smith. I mean, that's 34 points for John O'Smith, despite a fumble. Over 100 yards. Can't knock it. And so it's been a really good start for him, but it's over to the Bedford Brewskis now to chase it down. So we'll see what happens as the weekend goes on. But that we can kind of get a sense of where the games are going at this point because there has been 4 of them, And if Alan loses this one, Kirkwall Chargers, if they lose this one, that's a big loss when when the 8 and 4s are chasing you down, and Aberdeen Bucks are projected to win against the Bucks Gold Rush, and you would think that they probably will, So Alan, is that Alan's team?
No, it's Alan who? Alan's in Division 1, and no, he's Kirkwall Raiders in Happy Valley Division 1.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough.
Off the top of my head, anyway, it's
it's a big game for in Kirkwall. They're going to have to find that way back and find that win to stay up there because like Edinburgh Thunderbirds, they're projected to beat Preston Hawks, but they're both 8 and 4. The winner there has got a good shout. So if Kirkwall lose this one, they're back in they could end up losing not just the top of the division, but they could end up losing a bye week.
Did you see Ren as Craig in Kirkcaldy?
All right, cool.
Yeah, no,
yeah, big game from this week anyway.
Yeah, because obviously you get that you're not guaranteed the number one spot, but you're one, especially with these two playing each other. You've got a very good chance because obviously it's going to knock one of them out to get 10 wins.
And I'll tell you, Laxdale Legends will be looking to win this week because they don't want to be looking over their shoulders next week either, you know. So it's whoever Laxdale Legends playing, that's a big game for them this week as well.
I think they're playing the Yorkshire Lost Myrtles, which is good.
Yeah, so
it's going to be a close one because they did well last week.
They're miles behind there, but they're going to be wanting to find that one this week.
Definitely. So we'll go on to the Happy Valley. You've got the Yorkshire Yeovil winners, 150.55 against the Gothenburg Angels, 185.41. The Kirkwall Cowboys at 5-7, 250.46 against the poor Everett there. I thought if you're still listening. Turbo Titans, 125.16. The Royal Raiders, 128.16 up against the Bognor Regis Falcons, 185.57. The Darlow Destroyers, 194.58 against the South London Rebels, 205.16. The Melbourne Supremacy, 187.55 against the 240.06 Whitford Educators. Al on a roll, 240.35 against the Bonnie Red Cowboys, a bit of a show me the money derby, 180.76. So at the bottom there, you've got the two teams at 9 and 3, the Bognor Regis Falcons and the South London Rebels. Close on the heels of Darlow Destroyers at 8 and 4, so obviously it's between those three for the top two spots. Gothenburg Angels at 7 and 5, the Melbourne Supremacy at 7 and 5, Yeovil Winners at 7 and 5, and a 2-game gap to the Kirkwall Cowboys at 5 and 7, Bonnie Red Cowboys 5 and 7, Royal Raiders 5 and 7, Turbo Titans at 4 and 8, Kirkwall Raiders at 3 and 9, and the Whitford Educators at 3 and 9. So Ross has done what he had to do to get the win, but he's still 2 games back. So
yeah, the division split now. You know, this is this division's over in the sense of who's making the playoffs and who's not. But it's still big in the sense that there's the bye weeks to play for in both halves. You know, because correct me if I'm wrong, but if you get the bye in the consolations and you stay up.
No, if you get the bye in the consolations, you only have to win 1 game to stay up.
Right, so win 1 game, stay up. So yeah, so you know the bye weeks are huge to play for, and it's and obviously at the top you want to buy as well. So, but that's all it's to play for here now. The 5 and 7s are gone because it's a 2-game gap for between 6 and 7. So this one's pretty much sorted out already.
We'll see who they've got this week. Yeah, because it was a good win. I mean, there's still 240 points.
I say it's still all to play for in the sense of getting your position for the playoffs because it can make all the difference.
Well, you want to get the bye into the first one, that's it. So you got the Kirkwall Cowboys started up at 76.79 against 24.50 the Gothenburg Angels. Yeovil Winners 170.45 against the Bognor Region Falcons at 98.31. South London Rebels at 50.80 against the 29.0 Turbo Titans. Kirkwall Raiders at 84.15 against the Melbourne Supremacy 63.55. You've got the Darlow Destroyers 36.70 against the Bonnie Red Cowboys at 13.1. The Royal Raiders are sitting at 31.60 against the Whitford Educators at 16.8. Let's say they're not really making much of a difference, but here's Everett.
Yeah, you've been stinking up all right, Everett. To be fair, I do believe that last week you'd have had your Burrow and Chase stack on the bench on bye week, so you got a pass for last week. But yeah, I did warn you about drafting all the old timers, but hey ho.
That's coming from the old timer himself.
At the end of the day, as I say, it's all about the getting bye spots now for this one. So obviously the ones up the top, they're going to be wanting you're going to be wanting to win, and even the ones that are kind of the 5 and 7s will want to win out to try and get those spots. So that's all it's to play for in this one. No, there's not much, else. And I'm looking down, and it's a lot of splits. The top half's playing the bottom half quite a lot here. You've got Bognor Regis Falcons playing the Yeovil Winners, a kind of top six clash, and that's about the only one really.
Well, that's the thing with it. If Yeovil Winners do win, South London Rebels, if they win, they're obviously guaranteed in the top two.
Yeah, that's it. There's 2 9-3 teams, isn't there? So they would both, if they both win, then they would both be guaranteed. Oh yeah, Bognor Regis. Sorry, that's the other 9-3. So yeah, if Yeovil Winners do win that, then South London Rebels secure top spot.
The Dallow Destroyers are playing the Bonnet Cowboys, so they would also go 9-4, and it comes down to. I wonder if they're playing each other the last week. That'd be quite funny if they were. No, Gordon again, those thing who part of the Destroyers. Yeah, so
there's not. It's a shame. It's not even got one of them that's going to be up against each other. But well, it's obviously everyone is out to win this week and see what happens. Is the best way to go about it. Because as you say, like the Gothenburg Angels aren't even out getting the bye week yet from 7-5 either. Yeovil Winners, if they can win out, Melbourne Supremacy, if they can win out and get to 9-5, it might be enough to secure second place. So
yeah,
that's kind of what you've got to
look
at
as well.
stage.
By Mageddon week 2, part 2 next week. So like I said, there's a lot of players without Lamar Jackson, without Jaden Daniels, Brian Roberts again. I don't know what other teams are. I know the fewer teams are out next week, but I'm not sure.
I think there's 6 teams out next week. There are some big ones out, and as you say, the Ravens are definitely one of them. Who's Derek Henry's going to be out, and it can throw a spanner in the works quite easily. So it's that's how I'm saying if you're kind of sitting on the 6-6, 7-5 on the playoff bubble, you want to get the win this week. You don't want to have to worry about bye weeks next week.
I know. I see that J.K. Dobbins is on the injured reserve.
I know. I had to move him on it today. Already
seems to be his second home each year.
Thing is, I've see because of that. It's going to end up costing me. I've overthought it. See in home league and show me the money. I've dropped Ramondre Stevenson for Gus Edwards because obviously Dobbins is out, so it's going to be the Gus bus show. So I've dropped Stevenson for Gus. So watch Ramondre Stevenson go for 3 touchdowns and 100 yards today.
I might have to get in the waivers and hope I've got a good chance of that one, but probably not. No, because my running backs are awful on that one. But no, so we'll go on to the Maysow division. This one that's been close for the whole year. You've got the Lancaster Bombers, 199.08, and you've got the Kilmarnock Kings, sorry, Derek, 186.91. No score correction.
Oh, that's quite hard.
Yeah.
That's quite hard.
Then you've got the Southampton Dockers, 174.01 against the Carolina Broncos, 210.23. The Whitchurch Warriors, 185.71 against the Portland Lumberjacks, 149.45. Dobos Darlot Diamonds, 171.47. I'll put that at the bottom there. Against the Belfast Benchwarmers, 238.80. Dickensheath Demons, 212.65 against the Glasgow Lightning, 188.63. The Bonnerig Cheeseheads, 154.42 against the Crew Juggernauts, 223.06. So you've got the Carolina Broncos, Dickensheath Demons, and the Crew Juggernauts, all 8-4. Then you've got the Lancaster Bombers, the Belfast Bombers, the Kilmarnock Kings, all at 7-5. So it's all in their own hands now. Portland Lumberjacks and the Whitchurch Warriors right on their heels at 6-6. Then you've got the Glasgow Lightning, Southampton Dockers at 5-7. The Bonnerig Cheeseheads at 4-8, and the Dobos Darlot Diamonds. At least they've got a win at 1-11.
I mean, as you say, they're on their tail now, but that's it's the 7-5s to lose. You win out and you're in. That's fine. So it's theirs to lose, but the Portland Lumberjacks are not going to be giving up. And just don't lose any more, Derek. But let's go and have a look and see what happened here. I bet he's left something stupid on the bench. Let's go and have a wee look just for giggles. Let's see what he's left.
He came up against Tua.
Yeah, he got 2. To be fair, I left 2 on the bench. I was so annoyed because remember I talked about it last week as well, putting him in half jokingly. So he started. Lockett. Who could they have started instead of Lockett?
Abdullah. Who would you played Abdullah?
Oh, you could have Abdullah. You've got Abdullah on your bench. What have you got Abdullah on your bench for? You clown. What's the point bringing him in and not playing him when he's a lead back?
Well, Denver, to be fair, is usually not too bad against the run, but yeah, Dawson shoots 6.5. So Abdullah, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair,
even if
not much else he
actually
could have done.
He could have played Baker against Goff.
So, he could have played Baker over Goff as well. So yeah, I mean, unlucky.
Baker would have won the game for you. Correct.
It's 196 points, so so at least as we say, it's in your hands, Derek. It's up to you now. You've got 2 weeks to go, and if you win both weeks, you're in the playoffs. It's that simple.
Definitely. So who have we got next then? So we'll see how they're getting on so far this week. So we've got the Southampton Dockers at 38 points, and you've got the Kilmarnock Kings looking pretty good, at 88 points, which is predicted to get 208. Lancaster Bombers, who 57.45 up against the Portland Lumberjacks, so could be a bit of a squeaky bum for Daniel Love, sitting at 117.25. Belfast Benchwarmers at 32 points against the 34 points Carolina Broncos, a long way to go. The Richard Warriors looking at a close game against the Dickensies Demons at 68.60 against 63.10. Dobbers Darlers are sitting at 35 points against 38 points for the Crew Juggernauts. You've got the Bonnyrigg Cheeseheads at 52.40 against the Glasgow Lightning 66.10. So yeah, so this game is
a couple of big games. But Belfast Benchwarmers are going to need to find a way to win that one, just to get, as I say, get that over the line with the 6-6s coming behind them. Whitchurch Warriors are in a doozy there right now by the looks of it, and absolutely needing the win at 6-6. Can't afford to lose that. And of course, Portland Lumberjacks can give all the 6-6s a chance by beating the Lancashire Bombers if they can hold on to that lead. And what a lead they've given themselves over the Thanksgiving weekend. So yeah, it's looking. And of course, I mean, Derek's almost guaranteed already. I don't quite that's but yeah, I mean,
Derek, if you had played. If you'd played Baker Mayfield, Derek, you would have won because you scored more points in difference than what Goff did. But never mind.
If you'd have played Abdullah, you would have won too. But anyway, it's listen, you don't need to win because here you go. You've got your win this week, and that should be enough. The 8 wins should be more enough to get you in. But Portland Lumberjacks beating Lancashire Bombers here would keep things interesting going into week 14.
Definitely. So we'll go on to Marwick Head. We've got the Chester Hurricanes, 235.28 against the Peterhead Bloody Jets, 186.18. Darlington Dragons, 162.80 up against the Birmingham Master Chiefs, 267.27. You've got the Cavite Porkers, 149.57 against the Wakefield 49ers, 190.06. Norwich Mustard Men, 209.86 against 182.50, the London Eagles. Nottingham Rebels, 195.63 against the Sandbach Satans, 189.61. And you've got the Guildford Raptors, 148.11 up against the Gorgie Vikings, getting their second win of the season, Groty, 184.13.
Hey!
So the Birmingham Master Chiefs need to win one more game and they've got the top 2 spot. They're 9-3. You've got the Chester Hurricanes, Norwich Mustard Men, and the Nottingham Rebels all at 8-4. Sandbach Satans, London Eagles, and the Darlington Dragons all at 7-5. Wakefield 49ers at 6-6 is the only team that can damage the top 6. And then you've got the Cavite Porkers at 4-8, Guildford Raptors 3-9, Peterhead Bloody Jets 3-9, and the Gorgie Vikings 2-10. So it's all about them getting the bye week in the consolation and trying to win one game to stay in the division, or you're going down to the bottom.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a 2-game gap between them and the bye week now. So from 9 to 12, they're just waiting on the playoffs now and the consolations and hoping they can get enough wins in the consolations to keep themselves in the division. That's all they've got to play for. But from Wakefield 49ers up, there's a lot of 6, there's a lot of 7 and 5s there as well. You get Darlington Dragons there looking over their show. They're not even in yet, and they're 7-5 and they're sitting in 7th place. So this is one of those leagues where 7 might not be enough. You might need 8 wins to get yourself in the playoffs in this division. which is tough, you know. Really, 7-1 should at least get you in a tie-break situation, you know, where it's points for. But, you know, sometimes it just works out like that when you've got a few teams on losing streaks at the bottom, you know. That's how the league works out. So all very tight.
This is a sore one. Yeah. But yeah, Birmingham Massachusetts will be happy with a 1-game win streak. Is it 1-game win streak? Maybe 2-game win streak, actually.
Well, I mean, it's they're up there. You're in the playoffs now, and as you say, 1-1 from making sure that you get a bye week. You know, you've got Chester Hurricanes, Norwich Mustardmen, Nottingham Rebels all there, and you know, right down to Sandbach Satans could still get in the reckoning for second place if they can win too. You know, it's obviously that the three above them would need to lose quite a few, but it's tight, you know. And London Eagles there as well at 7-5, and Darlington Dragons could end up they're in 7th right now. They could end up with a bye week, you know. So
the big question is, Derek, did you enjoy Wicked? Was it any good? Because the girls want to see it.
I'm not sure I'd admit to that one, Derek, to be honest with you. Did you get all painted up green and stuff, did you? But,
that would be funny to see, actually.
I appease the wife by buying her 2 tickets to Wicked and saying, "Here, go and take one of the kids."
It's not an Orkney yet, but I don't think the girls are going to see it because we don't like do noises. We'll probably get it for the house. But nah. Although Rowena doesn't really like when they become musicals. Like, she loves Matilda, but doesn't like the newer one because it's more musically.
Yeah.
So the stuff like that, she thinks it ruins them. And she likes original, so I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. She likes
it's clowns singing at the top of their voice in the middle of the cinema that gets me, you know.
That would be Eleanor.
That would have been Derek, no doubt. That would have been Derek last Sunday, no doubt.
Well, probably, poor Derek. But like I say, you've got a good chance of winning this week, so we'll go on to.
Let's see who's playing. Who this week here.
So the Darlington Dragons are up against the Peterhead Bloody Jets, and looking going to be a very close one, but nice start.
Things look at
120 points. So the 200 points, that probably projected, that's probably been as high as for quite a while. We've got the Chester Hurricanes could basically all but knock out the Wakefield 49ers with 71 points against 59. London Eagles starting in away again. After that 7-game win streak, this will be now. They're on a 3-game losing streak after a 7-game win streak. So they're actually going the wrong direction. 55 points against the Pastor Chiefs, looking to secure number 1. The Cavite Porkers, 35 points up against 66 points in Nottingham Rebels. They'll be looking to get that one. And the Norwich Mustard Men are up against the Corgi Vikings, 7 points to 42 at the moment. Guildford Raptors, 40 points up against the Sandbach Satans, looking to get a good start with 51 points. So they'll be looking to secure their spot. So
I mean, the 7 and with the 7 and 5s being outside the, you know what, with one team at 7 and 5 being in 7th place, you know, it's big games for them all. I'll tell you, Darlington Dragons would have looked at week 13 and thought, right, I'll mark that one down as a win. I'm playing the Peterhead Bloody Jets at 3 and 9. That's surely a win. So this is a big one. If they can't find a way back to win this one, it puts them in a perilous position going into week 14, you know, maybe not even holding down a playoff spot. But then London Eagles as well. It's a tough game they've got against Birmingham Master Chiefs. But if they can't find a way to get the win, you know, it's one of these 7 and 5 teams at the moment isn't getting in. And that's the bottom line. That's the bare bones of it, you know, unfortunately for them. And it looks like it's all over for Wakefield 49ers if they can't find a way to come back and win this one against Chester Hurricanes.
If we did on this podcast on Tuesday, we would have said that Darlington Dragons would have had a bye week.
Pretty much, yeah. That's the thing, isn't it? And then you come back and like, what's he done to get the 120? What's got him 120 points that he's not been getting off, you know?
34 points for Tua. 6 points for Dude, 34 points for Smith. 7 points for Tolbert. Oh, he got defenders got 24 points and 15 points. So both the defenders have played. He's got 17 points for Brooks.
I mean, it's Jono and Tua's giving him the start, you know. But I mean, it's far from over for Darlington Dragons. Like, he's still got plenty to come, you know, and he has scored well for the two players that he's had playing. He's got 4 more players to come than Mark has, you know. So he just needs them to score. I'm not so sure I'd be happy having Samuel plugged in there. What's he got on the bench? Just for the weather, it's if you look at what the weather, you know, the weather.
Well, he's only got Douglas.
So I'd be playing Pops over. I'd be playing Pops over Samuel this week. I've got to say, I mean, how are they going to throw the ball in Buffalo this week? Have you seen what the weather for? Have you seen the snow?
It's not looking great, no. They should really get a roof in that stadium. Like the new stadium should have a roof.
They're the things that can make, you know, that can make a huge difference. But I mean, you never know, because you know that they like to get Samuel involved in the wee dump plays and the end arounds and stuff like that. So it might be that it ends up being a huge game for him tonight, you know. So yeah, I'm glad it's a decision I don't have to make. Put it that way.
Definitely. Like say, I've only got a running back in that game, so I'd rather have a running back than a receiver.
Me too. I'm playing James Cook. I've got James Cook in it, and I'm playing him. I've got to play him, but yeah, I'm comfortable enough playing him because I think they'll be running the ball today.
So we'll go on to the Dwarfy State, the final division. So you've got the Rhino Cardinals, 188.11 against the Bluetoon Texans, 192.62. So they're still in a row. Gloucester Wolfpack, 125.35 against the Not Cold Knockouts, 198.30. Manchester Spinners, 184.07 against the Laggersville Lemons, 203.56. Birmingham Bears, 161.88 against the Q Kings, another high score for them, 244.08. Cork Red Army, 117.81 against the Plymouth Assassins, 183.01. Philwood Patriots, 183.08 against the Bangham Shark, 210.6. So the Bluetoon Texans sitting as possible 8-4. Then you got the Birmingham Bears 8-4, Rhino Cardinals 8-4, Laggersville Lemons at 8-4, and they've got the Cork Red Army at 7-5, so it's pretty close to the top 2 spots. Then you've got the Manchester Spinners at 6-6, Not Cold Knockouts at 6-6, the Gloucester Ballpark at 6-6. The Bangham Sharks playing their way into it at 5-7. The Q Kings, who have had 2 good scores in a row, but obviously too late there, I think, at 4-8. The Plymouth Assassins at 4-8, and the Philwood Patriots at 2-10. Playing a bit like the Patriots. But
yeah, I think it's a bit too late for Sean as well and his Bangham Sharks because I mean he's at 5-7 he's not out of it. Obviously, 6th place is 6-6, but it's the volume that's above him. You know, the amount of teams that's sitting there. But certainly for 5th down to 8th. Four teams, 2 spots. You know, it's win out, and you if you're in one of those, if you're one of those 4 teams and you win your last 2 games, you'll be in the playoffs. And of course, that's what you're playing for here. The consolations don't matter so much because there's no relegation. So you're really playing for that. To get yourself in and keep your season going for into week 15. You know, because if you don't, then if you're in the consolations in here, it's kind of nothing anyway, you know, there's no relegation or anything. So, as I say, it's get yourself in there.
Obviously, Michael at the top there at 8-4. That's 8 wins out of 9 games after starting 0-3.
Is that so? He started 0-3 and then he's won 8 out of 9. That's and that's form going in it. You know, that's form. That he's obviously going to be the form horse. You know, and obviously he scored the most points as well because he's top of all of the 8 and 4s. So yeah, it's looking. I mean, all the 8s and 4s are in now. 100% they're in. You know, it's all about who's going to join them in the 5th and 6th spots. Cork Red Army, one win should be enough. But yeah, Manchester Spinners, Not Cold Knockouts, Gloucester Woolpack, the 3 of them need 2 wins.
Yeah.
Who we got this
week?
Thing
with looking back at the scores for the Bluetoon Texans, the first week they scored 170 points. And until the one game they lost, they had 192. Every other week they've been over 200, something like that. It's just been crazy. Like even 2 of the games they lost, they scored over 200 points and lost. I remember saying back then, keep on scoring, you'll win. So then he's got a good start again here. He's got a 68 point against the Gloucester Wolfpack at 64. Rhino Cardinals at 46 up against the Laggersville Lemon at 61. Hugh Kings at 36 up against the Knockouts at 23, so they'll obviously wanting to win that one. Big game there. Manchester Spinners 75 up against the Cork Red Army at 19 points. And the Birmingham Bears at 59 points up against the Bangham Sharks at 90 points. Fullwood Patriots 115 points from the bottom spot against the Plymouth Assassins at 44. But yeah, there you've got the Manchester Spinners at 6-6 against the Cork Red Army at 7-5.
Yeah, that's a big game. And it's if the Manchester Spinners win that, it keeps Cork Red Army in the discussion. So it keeps two places up for grabs as opposed to being just one place, So that's a huge game for all the 6-6s, but of course they need to win as well. So Gloucester will pack her up against Bluetoon Texans, And if they don't win the game, they're probably out of it. It's certainly they're on the back foot going into the final week, and they better have a lot of points because that'll matter. So yeah, it's big games here. Rhymney Cardinals and Lagersville Lemons both at 8-4. The winner of that one holds the pole position for getting the second bye spot. So big game there.
Well, the Birmingham Bears are winning as well. So
yeah, so are the Bluetoon Texans. So it's kind of, the loser of that one, the loser of that Rhymney Cardinals, Lagsville Lemons, probably out of it. They're not going to get the bye week at that point.
Well, Scott never changed his lineup because he has Zamir White playing. Got nothing out of Lamb.
So he did.
He's got James Cook.
Lamb's a problem.
Right in that one.
Lamb's a problem now. It's and if you've got Lamb, you picked him in the first round, and you're absolutely gutted at this point.
You probably picked him in the 102 or the 103. So.
And they're just going to run the ball to death now. The Cowboys, now that they can get something, they've seen they can get something out of Dowdle. It's
that's against the Giants. It's what they call that one.
For Lamb managers, I wouldn't say.
I didn't really think it came that bad, but I don't think he didn't even seem like he wanted to come back in.
Well, he didn't care what he couldn't catch. He couldn't catch a cold on Thursday night. How many drops did he have?
Well, I think his head was in it. I don't think he really wanted to play, to be honest. He's got his money.
I absolutely agree with you, Johnny. I think he's as far as he's concerned, this season's over. I think.
Yeah.
But 5-7, they're not out of it. Yeah, they can win out and still make the playoffs.
Yeah, because it is pretty close in the NFC, but whether they do or not, I have predicted him in the Bed and Pork Show, but I'd rather they didn't make it. But yeah, so we'll have a look at the Rousey Cup. So the quarter-final matches, where are they? So there's a couple of turnarounds in this one. So the Norton Warriors were ahead 199 points to 185, but the Kirkwall Cowboys scored 250 points in the second leg and came up against 231. So they got through 435 points to 430. The second semi-final, the Whitport Warriors actually won both legs. Well, they lost the second leg by 4 points. They didn't have 417 points to 398. The Bluetoon Texans, I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game, this one. 428 points to 360.5 points for against the Gothenburg Angels. The Birmingham Master Chiefs 497.75 over two legs against the Glasgow Eagles 400 points. So that's a sore one. So in the semi-finals.
So quarter-final 3 there, it's the damage was done in week 11. Quarter-final 4, the damage was done in week 12, and the other two very, very, very tight. And as I say, the quarter-final 1, that was the tie of the round, where Kirkwall Cowboys coming back and beating Orkney Warriors. And, Orkney Warriors, when you take a lead going into the second week and you score 231 points, you'd be forgiven for thinking that was enough, wouldn't you? So it's a bit harsh that it wasn't. But
and obviously that's Ross sitting at 5 and 7, but you got Ross at 5 and 7, who's obviously qualified into the semi-finals. The semi-final 1 will be the two teams that will sit on top of the division, the Birmingham Master Chiefs against the Bluetoon Texans. You got 95 points against 68 so far. And I think even the projections are going to be monster scores, so it should be a interesting second week for that one. Hope for the bye weeks don't completely bugger that. The Kirkwall Cowboys. A good start against the Whitport Warriors so far, 76 against 68. But this is the second year in a row that the East Conference has not been represented in the semi-final.
All right, so it's all West Conference.
It's
4
all
teams
bloody
from the
West
West.
Conference again. But we
2
could
years in a row.
potentially
That's
have
no good,
a.
Johnny. That's.
I know. But we could potentially have a show in the money final with the
with the Bluetoon
Texans and the
Couple
Cowboys. So sorry, John, and sorry, Dave. We are rooting for the show in the money final.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. But as you say, there's a long way to go in it. But it's you're in the semi-finals now. It's time to start paying attention. You've got a chance of winning this now. So this is a big one.
Richard Warriors lost in the final last year. It was him that didn't pick the team in week 15 that gave him a bad.
Right, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Richard Warriors lost in the final last year to South London Rebels.
Well, it's quite impressive to get to the semi-final. Semi-final first one year and the semi-final the next year. That's no mean feat, especially when you've got to get through a group stage and top it. It's not even like second place gets you through, and you've got that safety net. You've got to top the group to get through. So, yeah, that's some going.
You've got to start well. Yeah, it's not. It's a fun little competition to run, whether anybody pays attention to it apart from me.
The winner pays attention when they get that. The winner pays attention when they get their trophy, don't they? So,
well, they get a mystery signed NFL shirt that I bought.
There you go.
Back in January. I don't even know what the team is yet because it's still in the box. I don't look at it. They get to choose which box they want. I might look at it then because the other one goes to the charity bowl. There you go. So that's made it through with 1 hour and 20 minutes will kick off. So I can now go through my many teams to see who I need to drop.
I've got some bets to place, and I've got some teams to make sure that I'm happy with the lineup before it goes. There's the OrkneyBowl isn't the only league that I'm borderline making it or not, so I've got to make sure that I've got the right guys in, and I've got to make sure, more importantly, Johnny, I've got to make sure I don't overthink it and try and be too smart and try and there's a couple of leagues, I'm not even being funny, there's a couple of leagues where I've dropped DK Metcalf this week just because they're playing against the Jets and JSN's getting a lot of touches, a lot of targets now. And so I've dropped DK Metcalf in a couple of leagues and I'm sitting here, am I being stupid dropping DK Metcalf? And it's like I'm putting in Douglas for him, I'm putting in, kind of MVS for him, things like that, so it's like, am I just being stupid? I'm overthinking it. I think I am, but we'll see how it goes.
Well, yeah, but then obviously Cardinals like to throw it deep, so MVS, if he can catch them, is going to get you points, but they could end up with no points.
It's it's only one play. You only need one play from him, So
like a 60-yard touchdown, and there you go. But, yeah. Well, good luck this week.
I think you too. Good luck, everyone. I hope everyone does well, apart from Doug.
And Luke. Sorry, Luke. This week you're in the no luck group. I will see you on Saturday next week. I'm back
to work. See you on Saturday.
Provided Craig's not getting drunk.
For week 13.